Hey, starlings, let's look at the astrology of the moment. So, of course, we're in Scorpio season, right? Fixed water. Taurus gets all the grief for being stubborn, but that's because it's a fixed sign. And there's four of each modality, which is the fixed element, the stubbornness, doesn't like change, fixed personality. So, Taurus is fixed earth, but Scorpio, opposite to Taurus, is fixed water. Water's emotions, fixed emotions. They don't like change either. So we do have currently the Sun and Venus in Scorpio. The other big headline, so Mercury is retrograde currently at 5 degrees Sagittarius. It actually began retrograding from 6. So you need to look at where 6 degrees Sagittarius is in your chart back through late degrees Scorpio. So the Mercury is conjunct Mars. Mercury is communication. It can also be what connects us from A to B. So it's communication. That's the phone. That's all this digital hardware, and the cloud, the car, the mail truck. Does anyone send mail anymore? The post truck, I should say. And with Mars, that does suggest Mars is action, it's energy, it's drive, and Sagittarius wanting to expand. But Mercury is saying, whoa, you have not checked or organized thoroughly enough. So there's something that we've left behind. What is that emotional baggage? Maybe, maybe something's been left unsaid, unheard, undone. So Mercury is going back, back, back to Scorpio, and it is going to catch up with the sun. It's going to be part of this big grand water trine that's happening at the moment. And that's another headline, this beautiful big grand water trine. So a trine is a very flowing aspect. A grand trine is when three of those trines connect up to make a great big triangle around the chart. So that is the most flowing, helpful aspect we can have in astrology. We like grand trines, but not too many of them because then we get too lazy. But this is going to help through that retrograde, perhaps go back and exhume something that we want to pick up on that we've left undead. Scorpio themes. Maybe we need to dig something up that was left, half alive, half dead. What do we need to go visit? And, with Scorpio, it's a harsh sign. It can face harsh truths, harsh emotional truths. They don't want you to tiptoe around. This is not the sign of the small talker. This is really the opposite. It's about depth. And we're talking about communication because it's Mercury. So we're going back to dig something up, kill it off, or resurrect it, perhaps. That's Scorpio. Transform it. Maybe, bury something properly or transform it so that it can live again in a higher state. We could be in the outer world seeing a few secrets that someone's trying to keep or bury. On a personal note, go and look at your birth chart. That is the map of where this is going to happen for you and what it might be aspecting or activating in your birth chart. That'll give you more information. For example, it's currently exactly conjunct my sun in the seventh house. So what am I going to be backtracking on, or who comes back into my life since it's in the seventh house of the other? I'll say I've already had a flat tire and communication not sort of going through or coming back to me. So I'm having to follow everything up and double check it and just get through it. Why? I don't know. Sometimes it's just a marker of timing, and that can be internal or external. But we can also take heed and think, okay, consciously, what's coming up, who's coming up, what messages are coming up from the past. You might be thinking of someone from the past or a conversation. They might just be representing something for you, a symbol. So, yeah, what is that? What is that for you? It's going to be different for everyone. And it's always interesting to share and discuss these things because in the discussing, you can often pick up on what's being laid down or it'll trigger something in you. Scorpio is very psychic. The water signs are very psychic. They're really picking up on the vibes. They're picking up on nonverbals. They're picking up on a lot that you're not saying. And we all do that, but Scorpio is looking for it. Sagittarius might miss a few things because they're just not looking for it. They're looking over at the horizon. Scorpio, fixed gaze on your face. You watch them, they do not take their eyes off you. Not that they don't distrust you, but maybe they don't entirely. They're watching you, they're observing. It is an introverted sign, it's very reflective. And I think this is a good time for us to tap into that. It is Scorpio season, and Venus is in Scorpio too. So, loving a nice, dark, moody corner booth, perhaps for dating or meeting up with friends or enjoying. Going to, next time I go to England, I want to go to those sort of psychic membership groups where there's channeling and all sorts of things. This is a very Scorpio territory. I think that would be really interesting, and England does that very well. So, what has Scorpio themes that you think you could enjoy? What do you think? I have to pack up and move. I have a webinar to do. There's certain things I have to get through. I'm sure you do too. The silly season parties are about to start. This is probably the last weekend for a lot of people, and they are about to start. And why is that? Because it's Sagittarius season. So it's Sagittarius season, aka silly season. What we think of as silly season, it's actually Sagittarius energy. If you think about it, we get Christmas, everything just shuts down, Capricorn. In Australia, it's summer, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let's stick to Scorpio. What else have we got going on? The new moon's coming up in Scorpio. It's going to be at 28 degrees Scorpio, and Mercury by then will be at 28 degrees Scorpio. So this retrograde is very specific and meaningful because it is meeting up with that new moon, the sun and moon. So you can really plant some seeds of intention, knowing there's still work to be done. We're still backtracking. It's still going to be retrograde. The other thing, apart from being part of this beautiful grand trine, which is great for manifesting, is that it's opposite Uranus, throwing a spanner in the works. So, with the opposition, it can seem like the unexpected is coming at you from an external source or person. You could be projecting uncertainty or chaos or shock of the new onto the outside world. Usually it's coming not from you internally, or at least it doesn't feel that way. So expect the unexpected, is what we astrologers love to say about that. And perhaps use it to create some change that you know you need, or set those intentions for that change. That change might happen now, radical change. Uh, like I said, I've got to pack up and move, so that's already in the works for me. And I think that the full moons often express that new moon seed. So just remember, in 6 months on the full moon in Scorpio, that'll be in Taurus season. The full moon in Scorpio might bring this, the trine and what you're manifesting, but this opposition as well. So just remember that sort of unexpected, chaotic, shock of the new, also innovation. The final thing I'll say is there's a lot of planets in water as well as the North Node. The bulk of planets are in water and earth. And this is like the last blast or last stand, last deep dive before we head into a lot of fire and air energy. So the water and earth energy, very receptive. The earth is stabilizing, although Uranus is in earth, making really solid, practical, tangible change. With the water, it's, let those emotional waters sort of sieve through them, maybe calm them out, really delve deep into your felt senses, communicate in that emotional way. Tell people you love them. Tell people you care. Tell people what you're feeling. And the meaningfulness of that. It's a good time to journal, obviously, with the retrograde and all this water. Everything's very fast and furious once we hit all that fire and air era. And I'm talking era. So do the slow stuff, get it done so you're ready to bolt, basically. I mean, Mars is already in Sagittarius wanting to bolt now, but you've got to deal with baggage. You've got to revisit and just close off that last era. You know, Neptune is back in Pisces where it's been for 14 years, a 14-year stint. All that, you know, unicorns and manifesting and astrology and tarot and modern mysticism, that was Neptune in Pisces, and that's about to change. That is about to change. Saturn's in there in Pisces, kind of nailing everything down and maybe getting things ready to take into the next era. But I assure you, it's not going to continue as it's been. But that's fine. You know, the astrology shows us that we're ready for change and ready for something new. Make the most of that something new. Don't just kind of get dragged along with your foot in the stirrup, you know? Get on the horse and ride it, steer it. So that's it from me. Enjoy your week. Get ready for that new moon. Just be observant and see what happens. You know, knowing the astrology, it helps you to become more conscious of things. You're not just being swept through like you're in a dream. You start to sort of see things more, become conscious. This is Vanessa Montgomery from Astro All-Starz. Have a great day and a brilliant week.